Dang, where's everybody at? There we go. Hey, Eric. Starting to get a few in here now. Psycho Cowboy Fan. What kind of name is that? Hey, WTT. Give me a call. I got some updated information for you, but don't call me right now. Call me later. Nothing groundbreaking. Just some interesting stuff. So I was going to go over a couple of things real quick about that traffic stop the other day, because there's a lot. There's some misunderstandings about that. Now, I never said to the officer that he was lying. Somebody else said that. I realized that I had stopped at that intersection, and everybody said, "Well, it didn't look like he was going to travel through the intersection, so why did you stop?" Well, it's a matter of perception. All right, in the moment, from what I could see, there was something about that. And I remember I've ridden motorcycles a good portion of my life up until and my mid 50s. I quit my mid 50s because I realized I heal way too slow. And if I got hurt, I would be down for quite a while. So I opted for a Jeep or a convertible instead. But, being cautious as a motorcycle rider, it's not the same if you've never, I'm sure there's some motorcycle riders in the audience here that will explain it to you far better than I can. But basically, you drive paranoid because there's always an idiot out there that's gonna want to pull out in front of you or cut you off or something like that. So literally, that's what you do. You drive paranoid, and it becomes a survival instinct. So I drive cars exactly the same way. When I'm driving down the road, I'm looking at other drivers and paying attention to what they're doing, and I always try to leave myself an out, a way that I can, if somebody pulled out in front of me, that I could go get around them. Now, this driving strategy has been pretty successful for me. Knock on wood, I've managed to avoid having any accidents since, and let's see, the last accident, I had a guy hit me. I haven't been involved in an accident where I was at fault um, since, I don't know, the 1980s, early 1980s. Um, but I've had one other little minor fender bender that another guy was in the left turn lane and made a right turn into into me basically, and that was around 2006. So my strategy, and I was sitting still when that accident happened. Um, my strategy for driving defensively and courteously has been pretty successful given the amount of miles I travel a year. Um, I mean, it's nothing for me to burn up 100,000 miles in a year. So, and a good portion of that is city driving. But so for whatever reason, that black car caught my attention, and it appeared to me that he was fixing to pull out in front of me. Um, I can see if you look at that video on a big screen, you can see that he's watching to his right and never looks to the left at all. You can see that see his head. He never looks left at all. Um, so I gave him the same treatment that I would give anybody else. I put him out front where I can watch him, and just stop and let him go. I mean, and people say, well, you stopped in the middle of the road. Somebody could have rear-ended you. There was no traffic behind me except that HPD officer, and at the time I made that stop, he was quite a ways back. So, and this is what cars have brake lights for. Is it an unexpected stop? Yes. But you should be paying attention to other drivers and watching for unexpected stops. I mean, that's just common sense. If you're looking at your phone, that's going to be a problem. But so that is That is the story. That is what occurred. Um, so the officer, when he pulled me over, he asked me about it, but he didn't say, I stopped you because you did that. He just came up and said, you know, you stopped for no reason. So I told him, I don't know what you're talking about. You know, he was trying to elicit from him that, you stopped and let that black car go. Okay, yes, I did that. I would, okay. It's whatever I did is on my dash cam and on his dash cam. So I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try and cover up. If I did something, I'll stand behind it, you know, right or wrong, and if I'm wrong, well, then I'll pay the ticket or apologize or whatever, the situation requires. But, you know, I, uh, I thought he was stopping me because went over the railroad tracks really slow. Um, Sometimes, those railroad tracks. I don't know if you could see it in the video or not, but they were really rough, and so I went over them pretty slow, and even then they were really rough. Um, but until he designates exactly what incident he's talking about, I don't know what you're talking about. Until you tell me what you're talking about, spell it out for me. I don't know what you're talking about, and that's what I said. I never called the guy a liar, because I don't know that he is lying. But after I go back and review my dash cam footage, I will know, if he is or not. And that is okay. Hold on, got the freeway tied up here, bumper to bumper. So I'm gonna go around this mess. Um, I was courteous to the officer. I never talked bad to him, never cussed at him, and we had a decent conversation. And then the reason that I didn't grab my phone when I got out, I didn't realize that the camera was facing backwards. I had hit the button for it to face forward. Y'all ended up watching flashers and the interior of the vehicle for so long. And for those that don't know, this is a vehicle that I bought just to do cop watching in. The white lightning is too big to get in and out of tight spaces and neighborhood streets and stuff. And I don't want to run up the miles on the Mustang, so I bought an older model. It's like a Ford Escape, but it's not. It's a Mazda, and I use that for cop watching. I've got scanners in here, cameras, just everything that I need to do that. Uh, it was cheaper and easier to do that than it would be to continue to use white lightning, and the gas mileage is quite a bit better. So that's the vehicle you're seeing. Okay, come on, really. Um, but anyway, going back to what I was saying, I was not rude to that officer. I didn't mistreat him in any way, shape, or form. That's not my way. And I told him that. He said he didn't understand why Patrick was being aggressive with him. I said, I don't know. You'll have to ask Patrick. That's between you and him. I said, personally, my methodology is to treat people like they treat me. You treat me with respect and courtesy, you'll get respect and courtesy back. If you come up here and treat me like a dog, well, you're not going to like how I react, because at all times I carry a big can of dick mode in my pocket. So that's all it was. The officer let me go with just a warning. He didn't, he could have written me a ticket, and I'd have dealt with it in court. I don't think that a judge would do much with it, but you never know. I think it was kind of silly, but that's all he could find to pull me over for, because I'm legal and I drive legal. I don't drive stupid. I don't speed. Well, in this car, I used my blinkers and I got insurance. I take care of business. So you don't give them a reason to pull you over. However, if you have a cop follow you down the road long enough, they'll find a reason to pull you over. There's always going to be some little thing you do. So that area is a high crime area. A lot of gang activity in that area, and that's really what that stop was about. He's looking for gang members that may be carrying some drugs around, or stuff like that. Once he realizes he doesn't get that, of course he's going to run you, see if you got any warrants, which I don't. Um, and that's what that stop was really all about. And they, it's a fishing expedition. Um, but they legitimately, they do find a lot of drugs and gang members with weapons and people with warrants. They find them that way. I mean, I don't agree with it, but the law says they can do it. So, what do? You just have to deal with it. Um, a lot of things that happen that I don't agree with, stuff like that. It creates friction where there was no friction. You know, that creates a situation where a police officer might misread somebody's, you know, movements and shoot them and kill them. Situations like that are created needlessly. Here's Laporte parked in the middle of the road back there. See if you can see him. It creates situations that open the door for bad things to happen, and it's all needless. So I don't, there may be a time and a place where that is necessary, but I just I just think it's in this day and age, I think it's a bad idea. That's what I think. So I'm not reading your comments because I'm driving, and the comments are actually very small on the screen here. So I'll take a look. If I stop at red lights and stuff, I'll try and take a look. So when you see the car stopping, I'll flip it around so you guys can see. I am in the city of LaPorte, and I am headed somewhere else. Focus this for you guys, and y'all can see where we're going. There we go. Hey, Landley. This is Spencer Highway in LaPorte. And now somebody in there, invariably somebody will ask, when is the LaPorte lawsuit getting filed? And I will answer that. We are still working on the Jersey Village lawsuit. As soon as I get that one filed, then we're going to file the LaPorte one. Um, thus far, LaPorte has continued to play dumb, and they still have the jaywalking, or the pedestrian in the roadway ticket pending. I'm set for trial on that in August, and one of my criminal defense attorneys, Colby Du Bois, he's one of the ones I keep on staff. Colby Du Bois is handling the case for me. He's dealt with LaPorte before and put a whooping on him, and he wanted this. He wanted it, so I gave it to him. And if you're in the Houston area and you need a reasonably priced, um, knowledgeable, and a good attorney, Colby Du Bois is your guy. That's Colby Du Bois, Deboise, Colby Du Bois. He works alongside, or he's assisting my other attorney, John Landers, in the other case that I got going, the Harris County case. So that case has been moved to December. The district attorney just does not want to go to a jury with this case. Can't imagine why. And they have changed the charge. Can't imagine why, but it is what it is. So the Jersey Village lawsuit should be done somewhere around the first of the month. We should be filing that. I got tied up on another lawsuit, the lawsuit out in California on the Hemmings, Teresa, and YouTube, and Retveld. So I've got to refile YouTube and Retveld, and The judge wants me to reserve the other defendants. So I've given the Hemmings the opportunity to provide an address to be served at, and failing that, I'll have them served at their home. I didn't really want to do that because I know they don't like people to know where they live, and if I serve them at their home address will become public record. But whatever they want to do, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. So that's all getting taken care of now. So we're back on the paperwork for the Jersey Village lawsuit. And then after that one's filed, I'll get the LaPorte one filed. We're only asking Jersey Village for $2.5 million in damages. Now, I'm sure that they're not going to settle. They're going to want to play, and that's fine. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't care if I get a penny out of that lawsuit. I just want to get to depose the involved parties. The depositions on that are going to be crazy. When you guys hear the stuff that has gone on in that city, you're just going to be dumbfounded. I've already got a ton of documentation, and they don't even know I got it or how I got it, but it doesn't matter. It has led me to know what to ask, and it's going to end one police officer's career. As a matter of fact, well, I'm not going to get too far into that, but I will say that there is a police officer's career that is going to be ended by this lawsuit, and you'll understand after the depositions exactly what and why. And then we'll be filing LaPorte, and we're asking for $54 million in damages with LaPorte. Will I get that? Probably not, but it will get some attention, media attention, and it will get attention from people that live in the city of LaPorte, so that they will understand what is going on in their city and what their chief of police is really like. He's just another union thug. He could have come to me at any point during this mess and said, "Hey, this thing's gotten out of control. I don't understand, what happened. Can we sit down and talk?" None of that happened. Instead, it's been, I back my officer no matter what. Doesn't care if his officer's right or wrong. He backs his officer no matter what. This is what happens when you promote from within. You got a guy that's been in the police department 30 years, 40 years, and then you make him chief. Well, here's the problem with that. He belongs to the union, or did belong to the union, and he's buddy with all these cops that work for him now. He's not going to want to take action against them when they do wrong. You cannot promote from within. You've got to bring somebody in who is not part of the system. When you do that, you get a chief that has the ability and usually the drive and desire to weed out the bad guys working in the department. And that's what isn't happening in LaPorte anymore. When they had the other chief, Adcox, he came from somewhere else, and he had no loyalty to any of these people. He came there to do a job, and if that meant that you screwed up and you got reprimanded for it or whatever, well, then so be it. And that's what we need more of. No, it's not Limerick that's going to get fired. It's somebody else. He doesn't even work for that department anymore, but his career in law enforcement is over. We've been sharing through my attorney with Harris County District Attorney's Office on this, and there may be something more come out of it. But like I said, I can't go into all that. But going back to LaPorte, you can't hire a chief from within, and this is something that's happening with Houston PD right now. For all you say about Acevedo, how bad he was, and I agree to an extent. When it came to disciplining officers, he stood up. He had no issue, disciplining officers. And now we've got Finner in there, and the problem with Finner, and I know Finner, met him many times, talked to him, and he's not a bad guy, and I'm sure he's not a bad cop, but he's worked in every division of HPD over the years, and these people are all his buddies, his friends, and that's a problem. He's not going to want to fire somebody that he's all buddy with. There's a conflict of interest, and that's got to be resolved. And the only way you resolve that is by not hiring somebody from within the department for a chief position. Um, and Fenner can prove me wrong at any point, and I will publicly apologize if he steps up and does the right thing, proves me wrong. I will gladly publicly apologize, but I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't see it. Um, so now, and it's already, HPD with their collective bargaining and their union contract, which I believe has just gotten renewed by the bootlickers on the city council. Um, it's almost impossible to fire one of these cops already. So HPD now has a chief that I don't believe will take action against the officers that need action taken against them. So it's not going to matter. Got to get, and I posted a link for those, in case you missed it, I'll repost it later. A link to an article with old Pee Wee Herman from the union, the police union, Joe Gamaldi. Hey, all of you activists, we got your number. We're going to target you. You know, and that guy is a Houston cop. He's not just a union president. He's a Houston police officer. And so, they're formulating their plan on how to deal with activists. And we've seen HPD in the past bring criminal charges, false criminal charges against activists. And the DA does nothing about it. So, Acevedo, if you could bring evidence of that to Acevedo actually would take action. I'm not convinced that Fenner will. But we're going to have to do in Houston what Austin did. We're going to have to pull all the bullshit out of their contract and, maybe just bring it back to bare bones. And until we do that, and if they don't like it, well, then we'll just do it. We'll eliminate the union. It can be done. Austin did it. Austin was very successful. Can't talk. Very successful at doing it. But one of the first things that Austin City Council did was they refused any contributions. People that were running would not accept contributions from the Austin Police Union. And here in Houston, all these politicians on the city council, they're all in the pocket of the union. So they're bought and paid for. So until we get the crooked politicians, till you never vote for anybody who accepts money from the police unions. You never vote for anybody who has a endorsement from the police unions. That's what we're gonna have to do to get the corrupt politicians who are do the bidding of these unions out. Get some people in office that are more concerned with the citizens than the big pockets that the police unions have. So that's what we've got to do. And I am fixing to jump up on the freeway here, and you're not going to be able to hear me. So, like I said, I just jumped on here for a quick hello and to go over that stuff about the traffic stop the other day. A lot of people were talking bad about that officer, and my position. Oh, look, I got some traffic here. I'm going to stay on 225 here. My position is this: he had because I did stop. He had the pretextual cause to make the traffic. He was okay to do that, and other than getting wound up by Patrick. Patrick pushed his buttons. He should have more sense than to allow that. But other than that, he really didn't do very badly. I understand what he's doing, trying to get the gangbangers and the drugs and the illegal guns off the streets. I get it. Like I said, I don't agree with it, the methodology, but so there you have it. My ramble for the day. I appreciate you guys jumping in here, all 500 of you. That jump. Let me see if I can catch some quick comments. All right, real quick, guys. Yeah, that was the Beltway 8 loop. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I'm on 225, headed inbound into downtown Houston, where I'm going. I have not been vaccinated and do not plan to get vaccinated at this point, unless I need to fly or something stupid like that. Hey, zombie. Thank you. I always try to be safe. Let me see. Qualified immunity removal is the key. Qualified immunity must go. That's the start. The second part of it is we got to get the unions out. We've got to, I'm not anti-union. I'm all for safe working conditions. Hey, not a problem. But when the unions start going to Austin saying, paying the politicians off saying, we want this law passed because we want it, and they don't care what the citizens want. It's all about what the police union wants. It's just too much. It's gone too far. And the only way we fix that is to get the unions out too. So they don't want to adapt. They don't want to work with us to reach a happy median. They want what they want, and if they don't get it, they act like spoiled children and throw a temper tantrum. Like you've seen Joe Gamaldi. He talks about how he backs up these officers. Remember, the Houston Police Officers Association, long after Goings and Bryant were criminally charged, was still backing them up and giving them money and protecting them. So they didn't donate one penny to help bury the Tuttles. The Tuttles family had to come up with the money to do that, cover all those costs. Not one officer I went down there was willing to donate myself. I said, whatever HPD officers donated, I would match myself to put towards burying the Tuttles. And not one nickel, not one HPD officer donated to that. So that tells me exactly how HPD officers feel about that. My opinion is based on the trajectories of the bullets that were fired by the outside officers. I am still of the opinion that was an attempt to eliminate one of their own officers, and that officer is paralyzed now. He can't walk. It doesn't look like he'll ever walk again. I really think that was a hit on an officer. They went Serpico on this dude, but who can prove it? And it just got out of control from there. But the unions, they protect bad guys, they protect criminals. And so long as they can do, as long as they elect to do that, I can't support the unions. If they're just after fair pay and fair working conditions or safe working conditions, I'll get behind that. But anything else, nope, can't do it, and you shouldn't either. So anyhow, that's it, guys. I'm going to jump off of here because I'm fixing to go through. I'm going to take a little shortcut here and go through the tunnel. When I hit the tunnel, I'm going to lose signal anyway. So I'm going to bounce. Y'all be safe. Have a great evening, and I will talk to you again very, very soon. Oh wait, what happened? Oh, sorry. I hate to say goodbye with you looking at the road. So there you go. Y'all be safe, and I'll talk to you later.